everybody, it's Ashley with the Haircut Box. Thank you so much for watching my channel. In this video, you're going to see exactly how to cut your own hair if you're a guy. He gives you step-by-step tutorials and it actually looks really good. And remember, if you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel.
Hey everyone, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Dan Western, Ashley's brother-in-law. My own hair for about 15 plus years to save money when we were first married. I've been cutting my hair and my kids' hair ever since. I've been using cheap stuff the whole time, and the equipment that I got in the haircut box has changed my experience in cutting my own hair. So the first thing I do is I grab the spray bottle and I wet down the top of my hair. The reason I wet it down is so that I can get the part. And I'm just gonna comb it over to one side, and I'm really gonna work on getting exactly my part line that I want. So if you can see the part line kind of in there. Once I have that where I want it, I'll take whatever clipper I'm gonna use right up around the top of the part line, and I'll start with there first. So for me, that's a number 2. And what I'm gonna do is just go right up next to that part line. And I'm just watching myself in the mirror. And I'm gonna go right up next to it with kind of an outward brush stroke so that I can fade it a little bit. And all I'm trying to do here is get that number 2, because I know that's the shortest. I want to go right next to my part line, and then I'm going to go number 1 on the bottom below that. And I'll just kind of follow that around the hair because I know that's where it's going to be. So I'll kind of follow it towards the back. I'm not too worried about what's below that at this time because it's going to be the shorter. I'll just comb my long hair over. And this side I'm not as particular about where the part line is. Blend it on this side, so I just need to get kind of close to where I want that to come in. You can see I got a part now on that side. And I'm just going to do the same thing on that side. So I'm going to take a number, for me it's a number 2. I'll go right up along there. And then I'll just take my hand and I'm going to cover kind of over where I want to have that number 2, because I'm going all by feel when I'm cutting my own hair, and I'm just going to cut right below my hand all the way around with the number 2. And really all I'm doing is picturing in my mind, okay, all my long hair is up on front, that's where I want it, and that number 2 is going to be pretty much the same all the way around from my part to the back, about the same height. Then I'll take the number 1. And I know some hairdressers do it different. They start with the lower. I like to go right up by my part line so I can see. And so now I'm going to take the number 1, and I'm not going to quite go up to where I'm going to blend it with the number 2 on my sides, and I'm going to just go around my whole head. You can see that. And again, I'm just trying to think of the same level all the way around my head. If I was just to take a straight line from here and draw it all the way around the back of my head, I'm going to go to that level, and then I'll show you how I blend it here in a minute. Around the bottom of my neck really well, kind of all directions, cutting up, and then I'll fold my ear over and come up by my ears, and then I'll just gradually work higher and higher. And I just kind of go until I can't hear the clippers cutting anymore. I'm just going to try to blend this 1/2 inch so that it doesn't have a line. And to do that, I'm just going to grab it like this and then just go strokes out away from my head. So I'll start and cut in, and then I'm just going to kind of go strokes out. I'm just going to start with my outward strokes and start to blend that. And what you're gonna see is that line's gonna start to go away and it's gonna blend in. That same level that I'm at, and I'm gonna blend all the way around. If I fill, I'm just thinking of straight lines across my head. And in the back, if you just keep that same motion where you're coming out and away from your head, it'll blend pretty well. And don't worry, at the end of cutting your own hair, you can always have somebody look at it and say, this needs a little more blended there, or it looks good. So don't be afraid to make some mistakes. People can tell you if you've made some mistakes, and then you can go back and fix them. I like to take the number 2 one more time and just really press it against that to make sure I've blended right up against that and there's no, hopefully, long hairs. Next thing I'll do is start cutting my hair with scissors. So clipper goes to the side for a minute and I'll wet the hair some more. By the way, this spray bottle is my favorite. A continuous spray. And the first thing I'm gonna do is decide what length I want the top of my hair to be. I wanna keep it a little shorter, so I'll probably take off, I don't know, 1/4 an inch to an 1/8 of an inch. And here all I'm doing is, I've cut a lot of hair previously, and so I just know that, okay, you hold your fingers across and just cut at it. And it's always weird when you're looking in the mirror because you're gonna wanna, because the scissors will wanna go the opposite direction because it's in the mirror. So all I'm doing here is trying to match up that length that I decided to cut at first. So I'll pull up some hair and you can see the cut line over here of where I started, and I'm just gonna match that across and try to get everything even and try not to cut my fingers. I'll take some side hair like that and I'm gonna cut almost straight up at an angle. So it's gonna go from really short here to longer there to blend it, and then so I'll just keep going down that whole side, and any long hair I'm gonna cut really short on the side because it's gotta match that number 2 on the side that I already cut. I'll just keep going all the way back as short as I can next to my fingers. Again, having in view that I wanna go basically from here straight up. And then it's just on the side that I'm not parting that I do that. And so, see it's long over here, and I'm just gonna keep working across and make sure everything is even. Always trying to pull some hair up that I've cut the length so that I know what length to cut and match it. And I'm starting with my fingers at the base of my scalp and then just moving my fingers up until the tops of my fingers match where I want to cut. And then I'm just running the scissors right along my fingers, the top of my fingers, without trying to cut them. These scissors that Ashley has given us in the box is way sharper than the scissors I used to use, but I love them. They feel so soft cutting through the hair. Really all I'm doing is keep pulling hair up, making sure I'll pull it at different angles, I'll pull it across, I'll pull it up straight back, at different angles, and just nipping off the tips of those to make it as even as I can everywhere on top of my head to get a nice even cut on top. So almost got the scissor part done. Just do a few checks to see how even we are everywhere. Off here. The thing that's made this a lot easier in blending the long to the short so you don't have this exact line is the shear scissors. It just gives you, so I'm just gonna go along one more time and just kind of see where I'm at on this side. If I have any long ones, see how there's some long ones there. I'm just gonna grab those and clip those down. Any little mistakes that I didn't see, this is just gonna help blend it. I don't know what you call them. I grew up with sisters' bangs. I call these bangs. Anyways, what I'll do is I'll just cut these just a little bit. My concern is I know there's going to be clumps here in the back. Like the top of your crown and the back part, it again is going to blend into what your number 2 and your number 1 was for me on the sides. It's got to blend in. And so I know I can kind of do a little work right in that back part with clippers, because it's going to go from my full height of my hair here, and then in the back it's going to, it can get shorter and shorter to get down and fill in that area that we need to blend in. And so what I'll usually do here is I'll start kind of with a big one, a bigger clipper. I'll go like a number 6 because I know that's pretty close to the length that I cut on top. And I am actually just going to run it right along the top of the back there. And I can tell it's not cutting a lot, so I know my length is pretty close to that number 6. And then I'll just kind of work down from there. I'll probably take a number, looks like I'll go number 4 here. And I'm just gonna, again, just gonna blend in right up along the top of that. I'm doing outward strokes again. I'm just going like this. I'm just gonna come up around my ear, and I always hold it like this, but I'm really just using the corner of the clipper and come up around my ear, and then I can fold my ear over and take the back side of the clipper and just come around my ear. And then at that point, if you have somebody else, it's a great time to call them in. I'll call Hillary in, my wife, and I'll say, okay, time to trim the back of the neck, and she will help me. She'll cut the line in and just go across straight on the back of my neck. It should be really short from a number 1 so she can see it really easy. And she just takes the little clippers and finishes that up, and there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it helped out with some tips, and enjoy cutting your own hair and saving lots of money.